question behind this, are there any plans to change any of the skill cape perks to make them more useful, like woodcutting or prayer, for example? And the interesting part about this is that it turned into a really neat design discussion between Modjack, Timbo, and Sponge on this. And for what it's worth, the prayer cape and its perk provides the effect of having 2 lit incense burners without needing to have them lit when you use an altar, which is very, very niche. And the woodcutting perk provides an extra chance to get nests, I think. I think that's what that one does. And Modjack sees them as level 99 skill unlocks, but they're a little bit convoluted because you have to wear the cape to have the unlock. So the answer to this is, why not just make them things that you unlock as passives at level 99 for that skill? And then with this, it leads to a wider question of what's the core aim of a skill cape perk? And I'm so glad that this live stream got the feature on the news post this week, because this is a different way of thinking that I don't think many of the player base will have thought about these sorts of things before as. And from that, it's not just, providing a little bit extra for something that you wear. It's actually saying, well, do we even need these skill cape perks? What if we just, took everything that was a skill cape perk and had it as a passive unlock at 99 or 120, then let you have these things as cosmetic items, and then, here, you're saving, 28 bank spaces, 56 if you have all 120s with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to me, what I liked about this was it was the exact right question. Not the beginning question, but the question that they came back with was, well, what should the purpose of a
skill cape be?
Yeah. Like, to me, I was like, oh. And trying to keep that in mind when you're asking these kinds of questions about any content, right? Like, trying to use that framing. I thought that was really telling, and I couldn't agree more, because I think we've seen that work in the past, that these kinds of unlocks should be passive unlocks, character unlocks, versus, an item that you necessarily have to wear.
Yeah, and then you can really see that with smithing, and this is one that was specifically highlighted in the question. Should the smithing cape be something that introduces a new playstyle, because that perk provides the effect of whenever an unfinished smithing item is reheated, the next strike will generate +5 base progress, which in turn makes your smithing, if you choose to play this way, from 99 to 120 that much quicker, which at that point, once again, passive for the entire skill. And with that, that's pretty much a new training method that is unlocked by wearing a cape. And this is the reason this wasn't done, or there hasn't been any, quick fixes to these capes, is that Modjack very much wants to take the same lens that they did with the Garden of Carid, where rather than just fixing a couple of them and making them good, they could just completely revamp this entire premise behind it and add something new to the game while fixing something that was a pain point in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back in time, I feel like the skill cape perks have been something that have been discussed for many, many years as being things that could be updated, right?
Oh, definitely, because even when they first came out, there were some that were kind of meh. And then the next big push, I think, that we saw, once the max cape, you could put, what was it, three of them on,
and then you had the one on the cape stand at Anachronia,
right? And so at that point, you kind of, I don't know, it kind of introduces the idea of doesn't necessarily have to be coupled.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, you also just ask yourself, the defense one, how many people have the defense skill cape perk on their stand at Anachronia? Well, maybe at 99 defense, everybody gets a free sign then when they die once.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And same thing with agility. That one prevents you from failing any agility obstacles. Archaeology one. lets you access the relic power at banks, and the master one provides extra progress on discovery. And we can just go through this list on and on and on. The cooking one prevents all food from being burnt, effectively eliminates cooking gauntlets. I always use this one whenever I'm cooking for a yak track task because that's just the simplest way to go.
Yeah.
The crafting one, once again, this is a weird one, and you'd be remiss if you forgot what this one did. This cape perk provides unlimited thread and removes the need for thread when crafting leather, and provides a 0.75% chance to cut all gems of the same type in the player's inventory at once. The first uncut gem the crafting cape triggers on can also trigger the portable crafter and crystal chisel effects. However, additional uncut gems that are cut by this cape, the perks loses a chance to be saved by a portable crafter and duplicated by a crystal chest. Yada yada yada. And that's a mouthful there. And with that, you have 2, maybe almost 3 different potential things you could unlock at 99 with that.
Yeah, to be fair though, the only viable one in my opinion is the cutting, the gem cutting.
Yeah.
Right, thread and leather.
Who uses that?
Yeah, especially at 99. Come on now.
And then here's another idea for divination. It provides, it increases the spring duration by 30 seconds. What if starting at level 80, spring duration started creeping up with it providing a plus 30-second boost at level 99? Right?
Yeah.
Another thing you could work in right there. A farming cape, instantly harvest all resources. Once again, could be done as a passive.
Definitely.
Fire making light source. Let's be honest here. Fire making needs some work.
Yeah. Just all around.
And with that, you could say, okay, what would make level 99 fire making more interesting and, provide some extra dynamics behind it. Herblore one. Cleans all herbs.
Not bad.
Just, set that to a tick times 0 and clean herbs instantly with that at 99. So you get the idea. I've gone through pretty much half the skills here, and they're all in more ways than one things that could be unlocked. It's a question of, at that point, and looking at this way, why do we need the cape to do that? Why not just, have them as passives once you reach level 99? And then with that...
I think it's a good question.
Yeah. And then with that, you really... where we go next with this discussion?
Where's that?
At what point do you start adding things beyond level 99 to skills, in skills that don't actually go to 120?
Well, that's actually a really good question.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, if we have the Master of All cape, granted, they always want there to be something tangible, a new tangible training method between 99 and 120. But we already kind of have this for cooking the Primal Feast. You need a cooking potion and 115 cooking to be able to put it together.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
You get the idea behind this, is that this just opens so many more questions about RuneScape design, about what happens at 99 and beyond. And it kind of also, I think this was perhaps the question that goes most into what we talked about with Mod Jack on our endgame episode.